Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Hey everyone, checking in on the market, late night here, getting ready for tomorrow, just settling back in home in desperate need of a shower. But we've got the S&P 500 closing at all-time highs on Friday. The bulls still have complete control at this point. We have two little support levels right near each other, and because they're so close, for me, the lower support is the more important one. 306.06 is that level. Technically, you could call this a higher low at 307.03. I wouldn't argue with you. But for me, 306.03 is the level that I'm going to be watching this week. And that's the level where I will say, if the bulls hold it, they keep complete control in this market. If they lose it, we will zoom out and look for the potential of weekly consolidation, which again, we are anticipating any week now to see weekly consolidation, which would be healthy. And we will look for a higher low to form as a result of that consolidation. So on the hourly time frame, actually, I did take a trade on Friday, barely watching. But this is an example of how you take a low-risk trade, and I was barely watching in the sense that I was sitting in an RV at a music festival, and I saw this big pullback to start the morning, and I saw this big bounce V-shape. I said, okay, we are likely to set a lower high compared to the high of the day, at least initially. And so I said, all right, I'm going to look to make an entry bearish, and I'm going to put a stop just above the high of the day, and if we start to see some consolidation, I'm going to nail it. If we don't, and if I'm wrong, I'm going to take a small loss. The loss was the equivalent of about a third of what a day maker is for me. So I ended up taking a bearish position. I entered SPXS right around here. I put my stop under the low of the day for SPXS at that point in time. If I were sitting at my computer, I probably would have taken half of my position as profit and been in a riding free position with a stop at break even at that point. But I wasn't. I was not at my computer, and I stayed in that position all day. And I got stopped out right around there. So small loss, gave myself the opportunity. And that's pretty much how I'm going to be approaching consolidation in this market. I'm going to be picking spots where my risk is very small, knowing that I'm trading against that trend. And the reward will be significant if we do see any meaningful consolidation at that point. So that's basically my plan going forward. I'm not going to only be looking bearish every day, but on the trades that I do take bearish in this market, it's going to be of similar fashion to what I just explained. IWM, the daily time frame, is tight. Looking at it on the hourly chart, taking off extended hours just to make it clear, we can see our high of 160.46, low of 157.81, lower high, higher low. So a tightening range. Let's look at it on the 4-hour time frame, a little bit more clear. High, low, lower high, higher low held, and we're right in the middle of that range. Pretty much, if we break this 4-hour equilibrium bearish, we're going to see more significant consolidation and potentially even the start of weekly consolidation. That's a bearish reversal spinning top on the weekly time frame. So, remember when we were looking at the 4-hour? Well, I'm not going to go back, but it was weeks ago. The 4-hour time frame gave us a lot of clarity, and it gave us a bull break. Let's see if IWM gives us a bear break, which would be the first indication of weekly consolidation. If not, again, line in the sand, if 157.81 holds this week, the IWM bulls keep complete control. QQQ, daily most important level for me is 198.79 for the same reason as I just talked about with SPY. We did form a little higher low compared to that level. If I wanted to be a picky bull and if I wanted to have a tight stop in a bullish position, I would use the lows of Friday on SPY and QQQ. But just as a general overall view of the market, it's the lower level that's right nearby that is the more important level for me. And again, QQQ, all-time high close, still strong there as well. XLF daily consolidation, anything above 28.47 is a higher low. So bulls extremely comfortable with the daily uptrend in their favor. And when we lose that daily uptrend, we zoom out for the weekly consolidation. But again, there is no sign at this point of any red flags. Look at the volume. The bear volume is non-existent on Friday. We could pull back another couple dollars, really another $1, and still be in a daily uptrend. So that's 3% of wiggle room to still maintain the daily uptrend. And we'll see if this consolidation remains healthy. And you can note that XLF, after being the lead bull all week, consolidated with a red day on Friday, and look who stepped up. QQQ. They're playing tag team. This is what we see when we see sector rotation. One sector cools off while the other one picks up the slack, and then vice versa. We only see weakness in this market with significant bear volume and both sectors going down at the same time. If they're going down one at a time, the market overall is going to remain pretty healthy. XLV, daily higher low established, 95.67 resistance is approaching. Our daily higher low is 93.70. We would have to fail to break 95.67 and break 93.70 to lose the daily uptrend and start the weekly consolidation. So that's the line in the sand. And again, this is just how I prepare for the week. And if I were not in the zone on the computer all the time trading, I would have a notebook next to my computer with these key levels written down so I don't have to keep going back and keep looking at things. I can just say, okay, XLF is above 93.70, bulls keep full control. It's very simple and straightforward, and it's again keeping an unbiased if-then scenario. If this support is intact, then the bulls have complete control. If this level breaks, then weekly consolidation is underway. XBI. So we did end up holding the daily uptrend just barely. 80.68 was support, and we bounced off 81, huge bull day on Friday. We were watching the potential of the head and shoulders pattern, and while that pattern is still a possibility, it's less likely due to the size of this bull day. We were looking at it on the 4-hour time frame, and we were looking at it in this shape. And if I were going to look for a right shoulder, I would be looking for a top in the low 83. So the fact that we already got up to 84 favors the bulls. We would have to reject from 84.55 and then drop down and break 81 support for the daily uptrend to be lost. Again, loss of the daily uptrend means weekly consolidation underway, but at this point, no sign. And after resistance of 84.55, we're looking back up at 85.05, 84.63, and then 85.05 as the daily uptrends remain. And with that, the VIX is right back down to lower lows. We are watching the 4-hour falling wedge, and I haven't drawn it yet since getting back into reality and back to the computer. So you could technically say, I mean, there's all different ways you could draw this. I could draw it this, let's see, if I were going to draw it, that's the resistance line I would definitely be drawing. And you can see we just pulled back just under that. You can always adjust it a little bit here or there. You could use the upper wicks either way. We are rejecting from resistance. I like the upper wicks there. And as far as support goes, it's still down to a lower low. So we could drop down to 11.60 and still be in this falling wedge. So I am still keeping an eye on it, but I am less interested with the size of this bear move. Anything under $13 is just a lower high. And I'm going to have to see a 4-hour trend change or a clear break of this downtrend resistance line for me to be interested in the volatility index. So gold and silver, they definitely faked me out in the sense that I was very impressed with how well they were holding up. It's almost like gold and silver had they were going like blocking their ears and closing their eyes and saying, you know, trade war and tariffs and Fed pumping money into the market and all this to stay bullish. And then they opened their eyes and saw, wait, the S&P 500 is at all-time highs and the dollar just broke $98 resistance and broke the lower high pattern on the daily and might just be forming a monthly higher low on the dollar. And we've got progress with potentially rolling back tariffs in the trade war. And then they rolled over. So definitely a laggard play where I would have expected this move to be a little bit slower, really just dropping down with the market strength, with the dollar bounce, with the narrative in the trade war changing a bit. But it just happened all at once. So what does this change? Is this a monthly bull flag? Technically, it's still a possibility because we haven't really seen a significant drop to a lower low just yet. Got to pull it back up. So we haven't significantly broken the low of consolidation, only by $2 at this point. It's still a potential bull flag. Have the odds, the probability needle, it significantly dropped. Maybe if the odds of a monthly bull flag were 60%, now it's down at maybe 40%. So it did shift a good bit with that significant drop. But bigger picture, we're in a monthly uptrend. That's not going to change anytime soon. We could pull back to 1350 and still be in a monthly uptrend. So we are still anticipating a higher low. The only thing that's changing is time. We might be consolidating longer than we anticipated. We might not be a bull flag. I would say if we pulled back to 1400, we then start to set up for more of an equilibrium. Again, this is still consolidation, which could potentially favor continuation. And if we continue to pull back and we drop back down to 1400, that's when we're going to start to be looking for a tightening range rather than a continuation pattern. And silver is in a similar boat. So silver dropping significantly, and silver is more convincingly breaking its low of consolidation. So if we pull up the monthly time frame, it is more likely that a monthly lower high will be a result once we put our bottom in. So again, just time, drawing things out. Bulls still control long term on the monthly time frame, but we may be in for more consolidation while this market stays strong and the bulls keep control of things. And then let's just pull up that dollar real quick. The dollar could be a monthly high or low. Anything above 95.84 is a monthly high or low, and we've now seen a significant move over $98, breaking resistance. So that's a very clear bull break on the dollar on the daily chart. We're still just looking for a weekly lower high, but again, you pull up that monthly chart, and it looks very much like all the consolidation and bounces off the exponential supports the last 4 times that we've seen this consolidation. With that, dust has seen some strength all week. 857 is the most important level, followed by 866 on dust. And what does this do to the bull miners? Again, it's a setback. We're dropping down to lower lows. Daily time frame is now in a lower high, lower low pattern. And on the weekly perspective, this on the monthly perspective is much more likely to be an equilibrium. Low of 14, high of 45, and now we're looking for a higher low compared to 14. And the miners are getting hit harder on this pullback than the precious metals themselves, just as far as how much space the bulls have to work with before that key support level. Oil is still holding on just fine. Bulls are hoping that our daily higher low is 55.74. Not convincing just yet, and keep in mind that this data, these charts are going to have Sunday night action. Don't usually do these videos Sunday night, but we have the new candlestick starting. I need a 4-hour trend change, and we don't have one yet. We've got our high, low, double top, lower low, lower high. I need a hold of 55.74 and a bull break of 57.44 to change the 4-hour trend if I'm going to say this is our daily high or low at 55.74. So I'm watching the 4-hour time frame for clarity on oil to start this week, and we do need that bullish trend change to keep the bulls in full control. And natural gas consolidation taking place. Bulls are going to be looking for a daily high or low to form. Hourly RSI oversold, just oversold on that dump, potentially hourly bear flag. 4-hour RSI close to oversold. If we wake up tomorrow morning and 4-hour RSI is oversold, I'm going to be looking for a daily high or low compared to 245. And even if it's just for a bounce for a daily lower high, there's still some decent movement there, and I do expect there will be some bulls to buy the dip. You'll have the narrative about this cold Arctic blast that we're getting. I'm certainly going to be feeling it here, and that could be, the fundamental narrative that helps to try and keep this bull move going. But with such a swift pullback, still in a daily uptrend, 4-hour oversold RSI will have my attention, keeping in mind RSI levels can get a bit extended because of how fast we did run up. It all depends on where we open tomorrow as far as what my interest is going to be. And it's also another reason why I am trading commodities less, because I trade during regular hours and my opportunity is limited. If you're going to be a real true-on full commodities trader, you want to be doing it through futures so you're not having to deal with gaps in limited trading hours and other restrictions. So that's where we stand as we head into tomorrow. Bulls in complete control of the market. We have our lines in the sand. We have the precious metal bears in control right now short term. Some bounces going on in these precious metals to start the Sunday here, but it's still a 4-hour downtrend. And we will just be looking for a daily lower high to form when we do bounce, keeping in mind that it's been a pretty significant pullback since we have last seen any meaningful daily bounce. We've pulled back about 4% or so, so I will be keeping an eye on the potential of a 4-hour trend change, but no sign just yet. If into tomorrow, if we break the low of consolidation without a lot of follow through, I'll start to be keeping an eye out for the potential of a falling wedge on the hourly time frame. Again, bear breaks with no follow through means start to keep an eye in the other direction. And let's see if we get an hourly falling wedge here on precious metals into tomorrow. Again, the setup will be completely different when I get back on the computer 8 hours from now. And that will determine whether it's on my top radar for the trading day, Monday, or not. Thanks again. See you Monday after hours. I should give a festival update here. So it's a pretty sweet spot, nature preserve in South Carolina. It's like 6,000 acres with 7 lakes. So I like the fact that it's a smaller festival, and there's been some great music. Turquoise on Thursday night, late night, was an absolute blast. But it's definitely making me realize that festivals at 31 are a lot different than festivals at 21. And even though I'm glamping in an RV for the first time, my body is aching from just one night of dancing. I could feel my back and my ankle that I broke in high school was starting to act up, and just feeling that from one day to the next, trying to keep up. The sleep schedule is completely out the window and trashed, and having fun. Seeing some other good music. It was Umphreys, The New Deal. It's my buddy's birthday. And the good thing about this is there's a whole bunch of space and something like 7 lakes. So in the morning, I just go on a walk by myself and sit by the lake and recharge as far as some solitude and getting away from the crowds and all the people, and then getting back to it after some recharging. So definitely missed the charts and trading, but also a very welcomed break. I'm sleeping in due to staying up late more than I have in a very long time, and it's nice to mix it up, and also looking forward to getting back into the flow and routine in just a few days. Empire Strikes Brass is about to go on. I'm going to go watch them, and I'll see you all Monday.